Hi guys, it's Seth. Welcome back to Warthog Defense. Looks like Ukraine just sent a signal of its own straight to Russia's prized signal military plant in Stavropol. A drone strike hit one of Moscow's key hubs for electronic warfare tech, possibly torching a workshop full of really made goodies. So much for jamming the drones. Yes, the signal got a little scrambled.
On the morning of July 26, 2025, attack drones attacked the Shenzhen signal plant of the Russian military-industrial complex in Stavropol. Photos and videos of the attack were published by the Xilinova Plus Telegram channel. The drone hit the main building of the enterprise, causing a small fire that was quickly localized. Although the building's structure was not seriously damaged, the explosion could have damaged the production equipment inside. It is worth noting that since 2022, the Shenzhen Signal Electronics plant has been under sanctions from the European Union, the United States, and Japan. Despite this, the company continues to operate thanks to the supply of certain elements from other countries, both bypassing the sanctions and using Chinese-made products. The plant has contracts for the production of electronic jamming systems such as Smalta, Gardenia, and Topol-E, which are installed both on enemy aircraft and as ground stations. The plant itself is located approximately 350 to 380 kilometers from the territory controlled by Ukraine, making it vulnerable to certain types of drones. It is worth noting that recently, in addition to oil refineries and fuel storage facilities, the drones of the Ukrainian defense forces have been increasingly targeting Russian defense industry, electronics companies, and missile system manufacturers. For example, on the morning of July 11, 2025, drones attacked enterprises of the Russian military-industrial complex in Tula. It is said about the KBP Instrument Design Bureau, which develops high-precision guided weapons, the Research and Production Association NPO SPLAV, which produces multiple launch rocket systems. It is reported that Shcheglovsky-Val JSC, one of Russia's largest defense industry enterprises, which produce guided weapons for the ground forces, air defense systems and small arms, had also been attacked. Ukrainian telegram channels citing SBU sources report that one strike at the signal radio plant in Stavropol hit Building 2, which contains expensive imported CNC equipment. Another strike hit Building 1, home to a key radio electronics workshop. The defendants, in the case of the 22 March 2024 terrorist attack on the Crocus City Hall venue near Moscow, in which 145 people died, have appeared in court this week. The testimony of an alleged ringleader has been published, providing a detailed account of the plot. Shamsiddin Fariduni, allegedly the leader of the terrorists who attacked Crocus, was photographed shortly after his capture being tortured by the FSB. He appeared to have been severely beaten before his first appearance in court. His testimony should be read with this in mind. According to his testimony, Fariduni had a criminal record in his native Tajikistan for committing a crime against sexual inviolability. He went to Russia to get a job in Podolsk, where he became interested in radical Islam and subscribed to ISIS-linked Telegram channels. He got in touch with a figure named Abu Meskin, linked with the channel, and was invited to travel to Afghanistan via Turkey to join the local ISIS affiliate, Islamic State Khorasan province. He flew out to Turkey in February 2024. While in Turkey, Fariduni met a handler named Shchikorchi and was introduced to Said Akram Rachabalizoda, who was to become one of the Crocus City Hall attackers. The two men returned to Moscow in early March 2024, rather than going on to Afghanistan. Another ISIS handler, Saifullah, took over contact with Fariduni via the Telegram messenger. Saifullo sent Fariduni a photo of the Crocus City Hall concert hall and said that this was their target. Fariduni and Ratchabalizoda rented an apartment in nearby Putilkovo through an online advert on Avito and began to conduct reconnaissance. Fariduni visited Crocus City Hall on the 7th March to take photos and videos of the interior of the venue. He was photographed outside the concert hall by a souvenir photographer, but refused to buy the photo. It later provided evidence of his reconnaissance activities in the venue. Fariduni sent the photo and video to Saifullo and discussed with Ratchabalizoda how to carry out the attack. Saifullo ordered them to buy a car, which Fariduni obtained from his sister's husband. Neither Fariduni nor Ratchabalizoda had driver's licenses, however. Saifullo resolved this by introducing them to another accomplice, Dalerjan Mirzoyev, who did have a license. On the 21 March, Fariduni and Mirzoyev traveled in a white Renault to a nearby forest to receive weapons from another man named Gadoev. The terrorists disguised their outing by bringing a barbecue, meat and fried shashlik with them, posing as picnickers until the courier arrived. The weapons were hidden under the back seat and taken back to the apartment in Putilkovo, where Ratchabalizoda joined them. The weapons comprised 3 automatic rifles with additional magazines, a Makarov pistol, and ammunition. Saifullo sent them a training video on handling firearms the day before the attack. He instructed them to paint the weapons yellow to make them appear like dummies. Another participant, Muhammad Sabir Faizov, joined them on the day of the attack. Saifullo instructed them to buy new mobile phones and destroy their old ones. He ordered that the maximum number of people be shot and promised Fariduni $12,000. At 12 o'clock on 22 of March, Saifullo instructed Fariduni to give bayah, make an oath of allegiance, to ISIS on video and send it to him. Fariduni went on ahead to Crocus at 1600 to make a final reconnaissance and check whether there were any police present. He ordered the other perpetrators to join him at about 1835. They went to a cafe at Crocus to drink coffee before Fariduni bought a ticket to a concert of the rock band Picnic. Faizov remembered that he had not locked the apartment and went back to Putilkovo, subsequently returning to Crocus. Mirzoyev and Ratchabalizoda remained nearby in the Renault car. At about 1945, Fariduni received instructions from Saifullo to prepare for the attack. Fariduni, Mirzoyev, and Ratchabalizoda each had a Kalashnikov assault rifle and 14 loaded magazines. Faizov had 10 magazines, cartridges, and 6 bottles of gasoline. All had similar knives. They drove up to the central entrance in the car, left it outside, and entered Crocus with Mirzoyev and Ratchabalizoda the first to enter, followed by Fariduni and Faizov. They systematically began shooting people in the atrium of the concert venue. Afterwards, they entered the concert hall where Picnic was due to perform and an audience had gathered. They continued shooting people and poured gasoline on the floor before setting it on fire. The attack was filmed to send to Saifullo. Fariduni's rifle and that of another terrorist jammed, so they threw them away along with a bag of ammunition. Faizov and Mirzoyev each stabbed a concert-goer to death on their way out. Ratchabalizoda disposed of his weapon later by throwing it out of the car. The terrorists fled southwest out of Moscow, running over a boy and his parents outside Crocus City. They were allegedly told to go to Ukraine and headed towards Bryansk before the police caught up with them and stopped them. The men attempted to disappear into the forest, but were soon captured. They were harshly treated. One had his ear cut off, with the knife subsequently sold on Russia's equivalent to eBay, while another had an eye knocked out and Fariduni was tortured on camera by the FSB. According to Fariduni's testimony, he believed that the attack was financed by representatives of the collective West. This highly dubious statement, the US reportedly warned Moscow about the attack plan but was ignored, was likely produced through torture. What is clear is that the attack represented a catastrophic failure on the part of Russia's FSB. It appears to have been so preoccupied with the repression of anti-war dissent that it has neglected Russia's serious terrorist problem with catastrophic consequences. And when we are talking about Russian terrorism, Russia launched another massive overnight attack on Ukraine. In Dnipro, a residential building was hit, 1 killed, several injured, fire broke out, and over 10 cars destroyed. In Kamyansky, an epicenter store caught fire after impact. Smoke covered cities across the country. Footage has surfaced showing the moment a Russian missile hit a residential apartment building in Dnipro overnight, another act of terror against civilians. In Kamyansk, Dnipropetrovsk region shows a shopping center destroyed by a Russian strike.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. He's doing the job every day.